because Owen Caissie, Reese, has finally been called up to the Chicago Cubs. The Cubbies have said, "Come on up, kiddo. It's time for you." He was only hitting 289, 389, 550, 566. Excuse me. That's an incredible slash line at AAA in Iowa. Reese, you and I both said kind of ad nauseum, this is a guy who's going to get traded at the trade deadline, and yet here we are. What does this mean for us? And more importantly, what does it mean for the Cubs and Casey?
For the Cubs and Casey, I think that this was the Cubs were watching the Brewers sort of run away with this division. Casey was kind of the lever that they needed to pull. Maybe he's the upside bat they kind of need. Maybe they get lucky and he hits, a bunch of home runs. I believe he had his first home run. It was a unicorn home run. It was a home run it was a home run in almost every stadium. But it's neither here nor there. Casey provides top of the scale power. I really thought he was as good as gone, but obviously the Cubs didn't do as much of the deadline as I thought they were going to do, which is fine. They're the second or third best team depending on when they play or how they play at any given time in the National League. So they didn't really need to make that many upgrades. I don't think that they were like fighting for their playoff chances or anything like that. So I think this is a good move. I'm very excited to see what Casey does with this late innings or late season stint with the Cubs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious, do you think that his call up has any impact or any tell for the Cubs' plans for Kyle Tucker, perhaps? Do you think that that means Tucker is as good as gone, or are we going to see him play the market a little more than we might have expected a month ago?
I, I think Kyle Tucker is as good as gone, just because things aren't going well. There's some talk, there's dissent. People aren't very happy with him. He's got benched recently, and he was always going to test the market. Boris guys always test the market. They want to figure out what they're really worth, and I think that that's a good move for him financially. I think Casey can kind of step in. It's a good way to soft launch him. Maybe they don't allow him to exhaust prospect eligibility, and then next year they can allow him to roll into camp. They know that he's one of their corner outfielders, and that they can rock and roll with him as a middle of the order bat for them.
I am curious, Reese, what do you think that Casey's kind of ceiling can be for the Cubs? But then in terms of this year, is he the spark that the Cubs are looking for, trying to catch this Brewers team that's kind of got lightning in a bottle?
I do think so. I do think that there is a lot of that going on. I think that he can be the spark that this team needs. We're talking about a guy who just hit a bunch of home runs left, right, and center. We saw that towards his time in AAA. So it's all how things break for him in the Cubs, how bad balls go. But if the wind's blowing out the right day, but for the upside, I'm talking about maybe like a 30 home run bat for the Cubs going forward.
Yeah, it is tremendous power. Could be like top 30, 35 batters in all of Major League Baseball in terms of the power.